those that are in their early 20s, you are going through an early life crisis if you think you're going through a midlife crisis, if that makes sense. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of I'ma not say what. So today, what I will be talking about is something called the early life crisis. It is real, you guys. Like, I joke around, when people ask me, how are you doing? And I'll joke around and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going through a midlife crisis, and they'll laugh at me. So I did some research, you know what I'm saying? Did some research, and there is a such thing called the early life crisis. So the early life crisis is pretty much when you feel like there's a barrier blocking your blessings, pretty much. You feel like your relationships, your career, like you just feel like everything that you thought was gonna, it's just, I don't know. After I graduated, while we're in school, we get painted this perfect picture that once you graduate, you'll have the perfect job, the perfect salary, the perfect relationship, the perfect everything. Like, everything is just supposed to align as long as you graduate from college. Real life speaking, that's not the case, okay? That is just not. You can take all the necessary steps that you are told that you need to during college, but once you graduate, sometimes things just don't happen the way we think they're gonna happen. And that's why it's so important to have a plan B, a plan C, even a plan D. It is so important. And I just wanted to tell everyone that just because your plan is not coming to life so just because your plan is not coming to life does not mean that God doesn't have a plan for you. Sometimes we are so focused on what we want, and we're not focused on what we need. So the plan that we're supposed to be living in, we don't even see because we're so blinded by all these distractions. So it takes time, and just because you're going through this early life crisis, whether it be your relationship, if you just feel like, your relationship is not going the way you thought it was going to be going, you're recently single, you can't find your right match, you're tired of being single, it's going to be okay. It will be. Like, for real. You will live. And one thing that you have to learn, and one thing that this process of the early life crisis helps you kind of visualize, is that you have to have patience. You have to know what you want. You have to have patience. You have to pray for what you want. Like, it's not just gonna fall on your lap one day. It takes time. It's a process, but it's gonna be okay. If you graduated, I graduated, child, and I thought, I don't even know, like, I thought I was gonna be in Washington, D.C. somewhere, but all of that's changed because even my interests have changed. Like, the stuff that interested me a year and a half ago, I don't find it interesting anymore. So now I'm working towards a new plan, and it was a point in time, y'all, I was low-key depressed post-graduation because I was just like, yo, like, life, what's up? What did I do wrong? Honest, there's been nights where I cried myself to sleep from thinking like, what am I doing? What's going on? What am I doing wrong? And I would get up, honestly, and pray, and I would feel so much better. I'd wake up the next morning encouraged, do everything I need to do, and then I realized that the small things that I'm good at is the things that set me apart from everyone. Like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. There were times I cried myself to sleep. There were times where I felt like I had no one to talk to about my situation because I didn't want to be judged. I don't want them to look at me any type of way. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, you need to get your life together. Baby girl. my life is together. Okay, this is just a hiccup that I am bound to overcome, but it will be okay. So you might not know your purpose. You know, I've spoken with a lot of more seasoned people. You know, they don't like when you call them older people, but more seasoned folk, and they've said that some of them didn't know what their purpose was until later in their lives. So when I tell, you know, grown-ups, and I am a grown-up, I'm 22. When I tell more seasoned people that I'm going through a midlife crisis, and they just laugh at me, they're like, you're young. You're 22 years old. You have your whole life ahead of you. You can try new things. Failure is a part of the process. And I think with me, I am so afraid to fail. Like, I just don't want to fail, because to me, when I fail, I have to start over. But along this process of going through my early life crisis, I kind of realized that it's okay to fail, because that's how you learn. You learn from your mistakes when you fail. You get back up and you keep pushing. You do something differently, because the world needs us. Sometimes some of those things that we're good at that we necessarily don't consider a skill or a talent is a skill and is a talent. So just because when you're good at something, try to perfect it. Like, we're all good at stuff that other people aren't, and it's a gift. So use everything that you know you're good at and try to just monetize it. I mean, why not? And if you are going through an early life crisis, it's gonna be okay. And I know social media can really take a toll on certain people, because you see, you know, your classmates or people you've met along your matriculation through college, you see them just doing amazing, huge things. Don't take that as a step back, or as an excuse to kind of crawl back in your shell, or as an excuse to kind of just beat yourself up about it. Everyone's pace is different. When I see stuff like that, I'm like, yes, girl, that's what I'm talking about. Yes. And to me, it's motivation to continue doing what I'm doing. Everyone's pace is different. So what's meant for this person will always be for that person. What's meant for you will always be for you. So with that being said, just continue to do what you do. Do not give up hope. Continue to work hard. Don't give up, because believe it or not, someone is looking up to you, whether it be your little sister, your little brother, your little cousins, even adults are looking up to us, because we are the future of the world. So you're going through an early life crisis, it's okay. It's not just you, okay? Just because we be on social media flicking it up, you know what I'm saying, being cute, going out all the time, that does not mean everything is perfect. We all go through stuff. We all have our days where we're just beating ourselves up over things that just aren't right. But sometimes it's important to take a step back, congratulate yourself for all of your accomplishments, like everything that you've been able to accomplish thus far. 5 years ago, would you have been able to imagine all of these things that you've been able to accomplish? So don't take this as an excuse to give up. Use it as a learning and stepping stool. Like, this is a part of your story. This, all of what you're going through, you know, I don't like paying bills. I don't, because why do we have to pay bills every single month? So, you know, moved into my little apartment. I was just like, all this money. No. They need to change that. But all of that played into my early life crisis, because I'm like, okay, all these bills, I'm in grad school, you know, people falling left and right out of my life. I was so confused, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I don't have the dream job that I wanted. I'm not doing what I love to do. You know, like, ideally, I wouldn't be here if it was my choice. But then after speaking with people, praying, talking to, you know, close family and friends, I realized that all of this is preparing me for whatever is next in my life, which is necessary, because I've learned things about myself that I did not know from this process alone. So you are not alone in this. I promise you, you're not. It's gonna be okay. Just keep pushing, keep fighting, keep working towards whatever it is that you're good at, and whatever goals that you have set for yourself, keep working at them. This will pass, and 5 years from now, you'll be laughing and talking about everything you've had to go through that made you who you are. The early life crisis is not here to stay. It will pass. We all have our moments where we just feel down, but we get back up. Knock me down, but I get up 10 again. Period. We were made for this. We were made for this. We were made to go places, and we are going to get to those places. There's going to be hiccups along the way, but that's with everything. That's with your job. That's with your relationships. That's with life. You're going to go through stuff. When you see most successful people, when they were around 20s, in their early 20s, either they just lost a job, got fired, became homeless, worse situations than what we're in, and look at them now. So just use those examples as motivation, because it will get better. I promise you guys, it will get better. And the last thing I have to say is we will beat the early life crisis, period. It's gonna be okay. And if you guys do want to reach out and have conversations and talk, give each other advice, you're more than welcome to. I'm open to it. You can never beat motivation from peers. So I really hope this video was helpful and encouraged at least one person, that you're not alone in this. We're all in this together. We've all went through it. Successful people have went through it. Other people have went through it. So you're not the only one going through this. It's gonna be okay. Finally, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and Twitter at assassinoflove_. And feel free to DM me, message me if you do want to talk about it. I can tell you what I've been going through, if that helps you get over what you've been going through. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next episode of I'ma not say what.